I've seen you. Sorry about that. But we got two fights here. The co-main being Josh Emmett versus Yair Rodriguez, and then the actual main event, excuse me, with Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev. Should be two great fights. Right now they're playing the promo and the hype videos, and it's going to take a second or two for the people to actually get to the fight. I'm going to let a couple people know that I'm live. But if you guys are watching, throw something in the chat. Much love. All right, I let a couple people know that I'm live. Some people tell me to let them know, so I let them know. Sometimes what I see is cool where people will have my face breaking down the fights on one corner of the screen, and then it will be the actual fights in the other corner of the screen. We got Josh Emmett here, who is a big power puncher. You could tell he really wants to win very badly. And Yair Rodriguez is just a quality all around guy, very athletic, can do everything well, and is a very well rounded opponent. Tough to beat, very tough to beat for anyone. Yair Rodriguez's last fight with Brian Ortega unfortunately ended in kind of a negative way, where Brian Ortega injured his shoulder in the first round and was unable to continue. So I wonder if it's been a while since Yair Rodriguez got any real UFC experience, or how much that played a factor, or if it will play a factor at all. Because Josh Emmett is going to be one of those guys where if you have any ring rust or if you blink for a split second, Josh Emmett is in there trying to win from the first second of the fight to the last, and he's going to hit you hard with a lot of powerful shots if you're caught slipping for 1 second. So Yair Rodriguez has got to be sharp, but Yair is a professional, and man, good quality fight all around. Josh Emmett is a friend of a friend. He's from here in Orlando, Florida area, and a lot of people know him in this area. He actually used to work for Disney World, and I don't know him from the fight realm, which are the circles that I traverse in the most. But my friend that works for Disney for a long time um, worked with him, Josh Emmett, for quite some time. So, humble beginnings. Josh Emmett was working at Disney just a couple years ago, and right now he's fighting for the interim 145-pound championship of the world. So, it should be an interesting fight. If I got that one viewer, if that's Ken Shaloy, if that's my dad, go dad. I love you so much. Throw something in the comment section. Let me know you're here. My dad's been watching a lot of Alex Jones. He loves Alex Jones, and he had sent me an Alex Jones video, I believe, just recently. At AlexJonesLive.com. I love that. That's the whole video that my dad sent me. That's actually spectacular. Hold on, let's play that one more time.
At AlexJonesLive.com.
That's phenomenal stuff. It doesn't get better than that, I guess. All right. It's saying Yair Rodriguez as he walks out to the cage here is from Mexico. And I remember him doing an interview saying Brandon Moreno, who is probably the world's most famous Mexican fighter, was leading the path and has done great things for Mexico and Mexican MMA. It looks like Yair Rodriguez's mom is right there praying with him right before the fight. Did the classic Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Um, kind of a sweet moment there. It hurts where these people are actually people, and I sort of am a fan of Josh Emmett, because he's from Orlando and the people that I know him. But then to see the opponent just pray with his mom like that, it's just like, ay, ay, ay. Combat's such a unforgiving, tough, and ruthless game that literally anything could happen when you go out there and you're putting your life uh, on the line. You're putting your life on the line. So I only wish all the fighters safety and no serious injuries. All right, Yair Rodriguez entering the cage now. I waited until I started the live stream because I hate how long they take in the anticipation of things, where they bring people out nice and slow and they, walk you through this whole process. And so far, it's been 8 minutes and no fights yet. But the UFC is still great. And I don't know. I guess I just want to see violence, violence, violence every second from the beginning until the end. But I mean, there's also something to be said, I guess, for having an efficient show. All right, the tail of the tape here. Yair Rodriguez is 30 to Josh Emmett's 37. Yair Rodriguez is 5'11. Josh Emmett's 5'6 and a half. They both weigh in at the 145-pound weight, and Yair Rodriguez is 1 inch reach advantage at 71 inches to 70 for Josh Emmett. Good stuff there. It's interesting too to see so many more mainstream kind of sponsorships in the UFC. V Chain with Gary V is all over everything now, and Prime from Logan Paul is on the cage in the octagon as well. A thing that not too many people know is that the octagon is actually trademarked by the UFC, and no other fight organization can use an octagon. So even though a lot of times it's just called the octagon, if you see all these other fight promotions will use another kind of style of cage. Man, Yair Rodriguez looks like he's waiting for the bus. Really kind of calm pace. Doesn't look overhyped, or I mean, maybe a hair nervous, but just extremely calm. Nervous and calm at the same time. He's so nonchalant in how he's behaving. And Josh Emmett is very much the opposite of hyping himself up and being very energetic and aggressive, which a lot of fighters say to not do, that you're wasting your energy if you're, pounding your fists in the gloves for the camera and flexing and screaming. I mean, you want to show that you're ready and hyped for the fight, but at that point, you're taking energy away from the fight itself. And I think that's a very good point. All right, round one, here we go. Both fighters start circling out. Far distance here, very far distance. Both guys really just getting their footwork in. Both circling. Both with a left leg forward kind of stance here. Standard orthodox stances for both of them. They went with a couple stance switches. Yair Rodriguez opens things up with the first strike of the fight, a front kick. Man, Josh Emmett has had some serious injuries, and he's still come back and been extremely strong. He looks very, very good. Up, and just as I say that, he gets a kick to the leg, and then he shakes his leg out. One of the injuries that he had was a knee surgery. Um, it's interesting too here watching Josh Emmett. He's sort of, oof, big body shot on Josh Emmett. I think he's trying to hide it here. Oh man, I think he's really hurting from that body shot, and he's just moving around, trying to hide it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Josh Emmett here try to take some time off in the middle of this fight. But Yair Rodriguez looking sharp, looking long with his strikes. Definitely has the longer legs. They always do the reach advantage, but they don't do the leg advantage. And Yair throws another leg kick to Josh Emmett, and Josh shakes his leg out again. And this is not a good start to the fight for Josh Emmett here. He seems to be overreacting and overstimulated to Yair Rodriguez's striking. I mean, Yair Rodriguez will shuffle side to side, and Josh Emmett's just trying to move his feet in crazy ways just to catch up. And Josh Emmett seems to be finding himself on the losing end of a lot of these exchanges. So first round, I got Yair Rodriguez so far. The composure from Yair Rodriguez is really, really ridiculous. But Josh Emmett says, don't forget, I could throw one strong punch and this whole fight can change. So we got a taste there of Josh Emmett's power once again. Threw a nice couple shots. The power that Josh Emmett's really able to generate is quite amazing. Oh man, then Yair Rodriguez throws a spinning hook kick and then follows it up with a blitz of punches afterwards. Really amazing stuff. Oof, both guys slugging things out here. Oh, big overhand from Yair Rodriguez. Ends up on his back though. Let's see Yair Rodriguez's jiu-jitsu here. Josh Emmett in top side control. Oh, and this is a 5-round fight too. I guess this is for an interim title. Oof. Josh Emmett really making some headway here. Looks to have the advantage on the ground, at least in the ground and pound department. Man, Josh Emmett doing a phenomenal job. He even passes the guard here, and he controls the leg as he passes the guard, so that prevents any type of stand-up possibility from Yair Rodriguez. Beautiful stuff, really. I did not expect in this fight for Josh Emmett to have the grappling advantage. I mean, There was a couple grappling exchanges between Ortega and Yair Rodriguez, but you just sort of assume that Yair had really good jujitsu, like a Brian Ortega type level. Um, but Josh Emmett is saying otherwise here. I really gave the first part of this round to Yair Rodriguez. Now he's throwing some really powerful elbow strikes. Great ground and pound, great action here. And that's the end of the first round. Wow. I don't know how to score that round now because Yair Rodriguez seemed to be getting the better of the striking exchanges early, but Josh Emmett more than made up for it on the ground and pound. Excellent stuff there from Josh Emmett. Damn, that's a tough round to score. I mean, that could really go either way. I thought Josh Emmett's major chance in this fight was, to throw big power shots and bombs. Oh, yeah, they're showing the body kick that I thought hurt Josh Emmett here. Oof. When you load up and you tense and then you throw those shots, a lot of times it takes a lot of energy out of you. Round two, here we go. Both guys coming out in the orthodox stance here. Them playing the same game of them switching their stances a couple times, only to end up back up in orthodox. And I wonder what the condition of Josh Emmett's knees are here because he seems to be his movement seems to be slightly compromised. I mean, he's really playing it off like everything's fine, but I don't know. When I look at Josh Emmett, I see a different moving man than how he was moving. Oh, some big shots from Josh Emmett here. Wobbles Yair Rodriguez. Rodriguez throws another body shot, really investing in the body early here on Josh Emmett with some powerful, powerful strikes. This is a wild one, striking wise. What a great fight so far. My goodness. Oof. And Yair Rodriguez is going back to the body. I would not be surprised if this fight somehow ends with Josh Emmett's, ribs being broken. One, but uh, oh, Josh Emmett trying for a takedown here, picked Yair Rodriguez up for a second, but had to drop him back down. But I wouldn't be surprised if a body shot on Josh Emmett was really became the story of this fight here, where it either led to the knockout, led to the finish, or to the decision in some way. I mean, it looks like Josh Emmett's sort of holding his body. I mean, you could see the welts on the side of his body, and he's also using it to set up a head kick. Where the more he defends the body shot, the more the head kick opens. And we're in round two here. Both these guys look exhausted. Oh, a big elbow from Yair Rodriguez here, who now is trying to go in for a finish. And Josh Emmett answering back. Both these guys looking exhausted at only the second round of a 5-round fight. Both guys looking like they're taking a second to recover. 2 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the second round. I think both guys realize that they need to monitor their gas tanks better and that they're in a 5-round fight here. I think one thing also that they may not be so accustomed to is fighting 5 rounds, which I think will also be a factor in the main event. Yair Rodriguez with a flying knee, and Josh Emmett catches his leg and takes him down. 1 minute 43 seconds left in round number two. Oof. And Yair Rodriguez with the elbows. Unbelievable work with the elbows. I think Yair Rodriguez is teaching all of us a new strike here to come all the way back in the closed guard and then to throw an elbow down. I mean, those have seemingly been very effective. Yair Rodriguez had his toes in the fence for a second. Now puts Josh Emmett in a triangle. Uh-oh. This is deep. This is a deep triangle. This is very deep. This might be it. Oh, and that's it. That's it. Josh Emmett taps to the triangle choke. The triangle choke, it's too powerful. It's too powerful. Josh Emmett was willing to die to win this fight, but a triangle choke takes him out. You know, once you get put in that triangle, your brain starts making other decisions. Well, boy, oh boy, I better tap now. I've been there many times myself. They're showing the replay here. Oh man, just the way Josh Emmett's body looks. It's his body's a mess. I would be shocked if there wasn't some sort of injury to Josh Emmett's rib cage. But man, hurts to see Josh Emmett lose like that. Oh yeah, that triangle is tight AF. The way he cinched it and locked it up. You know, I got a video for the one person watching on my YouTube channel about how the mechanics of the triangle have improved over the years and how the triangle is a different move now than it was even as little as like five to 10 years ago. And that there are updated and improved finishing mechanics of the triangle. I go over all of this for free on my YouTube channel. And these updated triangle mechanics are a technique or tactic used by Yair Rodriguez here to win at the highest levels of MMA. So good stuff here from Yair Rodriguez. I want to see that triangle one more time. You know it's tight when they have to tap. There's this certain point of the triangle when the angle ends up just right and the shoulders cut out of the choke and the legs are like vice gripped to the neck. When you see those conditions, you know, oh shit, this mother effing fight, match, whatever, is over. And a triangle is ruthless, man. My favorite jiu-jitsu tournament that I ever did, the one that I was most proud of myself for, I'm pretty sure I lost it on like an advantage or something. I was in the finals and we were fighting for the finals, and I lost. I got second place. But the guy put me in a triangle and I survived the triangle for what felt like an eternity, but was probably like between 2 and 3 minutes. And I was more proud of myself because I made the decision when he put me in that triangle that, okay, I will not tap. This guy has to put me unconscious with this triangle choke. And I stayed conscious and it sucked. It was one of the worst experiences of my life being stuck in that triangle choke. for that long, but eventually I got out, and I actually had him in a triangle choke when the buzzer went. Who knows if I would have finished it if I had more time. I ended up losing that match, but man, if you've never been in a triangle choke, um, it's hard to describe what that feeling is like. It's like a claustrophobia, a panic attack, and your consciousness closing in like an elevator door. Meanwhile, you're carrying a 5,000 pound two chains necklace on your head. So it's a tough submission, but I'm happy to see Yair Rodriguez here with the interim belt, and he could do his "Viva la Mexico" speech, just like his friend Brandon Moreno did. But the question is, what are we gonna talk about for the next 20 to 30 minutes that it's gonna take them to scrap the rest of this fight, do their interviews, and set up Volkanovski versus Islam? All right, let's see. I do have some talking points. I didn't write them down here. I was just looking at my group chats on Instagram here. A lot of them like to listen to the fights live. But okay. So to break this down in many different levels here, Volk versus Islam, it's going to be a battle of how much Volkanovski is willing to respect Islam's wrestling. And um, hold on, my setup went down here. We're working on getting it back up. If Volkanovski can just go out there and kickbox with absolute freedom, I sort of give Volk the edge in this fight. But if he has to constantly worried about Islam's takedown and is in there and panicking and not knowing if he should lower his hands to start defending early, defending the takedown early, then Islam's just going to have his way with him. But I was watching some of their previous fights, and the way that I saw Volkanovski fight with Chad Mendes, man, um, Chad Mendes is nowhere near the same caliber wrestler as Islam, and Chad Mendes was able to take him down easily. And then he didn't have the best ground control when he was trying to hold Volk down after the takedowns. So the fact that Islam is going to be the highest possible caliber of wrestler and then has a great ability to hold them down on the ground, I got to go with Islam in this fight. I mean, when I saw that Chad Mendes fight with Volk, I mean, unless he's been working wrestling every day since that fight, which he's a striker, I doubt he has been. Um, it should be a Islam by victory clean sweep is my prediction. I hope Volk does it. I would be an awesome, fantastic thing to see. But man, Islam is so good. So, um, also, I got the instructional from Craig Jones. Craig Jones is Volkanovski's jiu-jitsu coach.
You can accurately predict the method of victory, plus money. All right, with all of that noise out of the way.
We're back up, I think. And we're back down. Damn it. All right, we are officially having some technical difficulties here. Officially, I can't hide it any longer. All right, I think this might do it. Anyway, I was watching Volkanovski, his jiu-jitsu coach, Craig Jones. He just came out with an instructional called Just Stand Up. And it's a Derek Lewis inspired instructional about being able to stand up from all of the traditional kind of positions in jiu-jitsu. And I liked a couple things about the instructional, and I disliked a couple things about the instructional. One was that Craig always kind of tries to imbue a philosophy in with his teaching, and he questions the way that we currently think about a lot of positions. And Craig is a big fan of leg-based pins. So what I mean by that is like mount. Mount is a leg-based pin. Back control. Back control is a leg-based pin. But side control, where you hold them with your arms, an arm-based pin, how are you going to hold him down and strike him at the same time? So it's a bit of a tough question, and Craig has his own theories around the positions that make you think about things in different ways. So I always like that. I always enjoy that kind of thought experiment aspect to his instructionals. And positions like half guard, which you see a lot of people utilize in the UFC, half guard pins the bottom player to the mat even more so than a lot of these other positions because you have direct control of their legs. So that's another major theme of the instructional, but generally it teaches people how to turtle and be able to get back to standing safely, how to get your limbs underneath you and then get back to standing. So it's a pretty interesting kind of idea. And the first 90 minutes to 2 hours of the instructional are brilliant. Some of the best instructional material I've ever seen. And in a lot of ways, I felt Craig Jones did it again. Then, after that, the next 2 hours of the instructional just didn't have pack the same punch that the hours previously had packed for me. And he was going over a lot of like other positions that were like more difficult to stand up from, like a head and arm strangle. And the difference between like a head and arm strangle where you control the guy's legs or where you don't control the guy's legs, and how these positions should be rethought on their own ability to be able to hold someone down. So I thought the instructional was great in the first 2 hours, and then I think it sort of slowed down or died down after that. Volk coming out, high fiving the hands of all of the fans. But anyway, I did not think that the instructional was high tech enough to be able to counter the modern day Dagestani ground and pound pressure type game. You know, it's possible he withheld some stuff and he showed Volk that stuff, but you really, you got to put your sauce out there if you're coming out with an instructional. So, and not hold back because people are paying their hard-earned money for the instructional. Volk coming out looking really excited here. Volk looking like he's in standard Volk fashion. So, I guess those are my thoughts. There was a section of the instructional where Craig Jones uses the seatbelt against the person, and that was a fascinating idea. Where the seatbelt is an important position in a lot of transitions from back control, and it refers to a situation where you have one arm around the shoulder and the other arm underneath the armpit, sort of grabbed on someone's body in this way. And the seatbelt, a lot of times, is used for hand fighting in jiu-jitsu and has an element of positional control in it. But really, what you're trying to do with the seatbelt is you're trying to control the shoulder. Excuse me. You're trying to control the shoulders in relationship to the hips. And you could do that with your arms being sort of open if you're aware of the fact that you have to like cover the shoulder and be able to monitor how much the person is actually moving or not with your arms in the seatbelt. So Craig Jones devised a system where you can make the guy's only lifeline the seatbelt to be able to hold on to you, and then to be able to sort of extract yourself and use the seatbelt for only that positional control aspect of it, and to be able to use that connection of the own guy's seatbelt against him in being able to get back up and get to your feet, which I thought was genius. It was very well done from Craig. And if the instructional continued with more content like that, more manipulations of that idea and stuff like that, then I would have been sold, would have been like, this is some of the best, highest quality, highest tier stuff. But I just didn't fall in love with it after watching the last 2 hours. That was sort of not as spicy as the previous 2 hours. All right, Islam coming out. They got Coach Javier. I wonder too if Khabib not being in the corner of Islam affects Islam at all. I know I've had fighters, I've coached MMA fighters in the past, and a lot of times the fighters would win if I was in their corner, and they would lose if I was not in their corner. And I wonder if that's playing a factor here. Islam walking into the cage here, side shuffling around. Aljamain Sterling tweets, "What have we done to deserve such an amazing MMA fight?" And I sort of agree. This is a great matchup here. Volkanovski looking like he knows something that everyone doesn't know this whole week. Chris Pratt says the super fight is on. Islam Makhachev looking huge, looking like a literal giant compared to Volk. All right, the tail of the tape here. Islam's 31, Volk is 34. Islam's 5'10", Volk is 5'6". Islam weighed in at 155. Volk weighed in at 154 and a half. And Islam is at a reach disadvantage. Wow. 70.5-inch reach for Islam and a 71.5-inch reach for Volk. It's amazing that Volk is so short and he has such a long reach. So my prediction going into this fight is Islam Makhachev. What sold it for me was the Chad Mendes fight. Let's see if I'm wrong. I sort of hope I'm wrong, but I've literally not messed up a single prediction on this YouTube channel. You could go back, you could search that, you could find that out, and you will find that it's true. That I've never made a wrong prediction. A lot of my friends love to ask me before they bet on fights, who do I have in this fight? And some of the best advice too I might give out for betting on fights is there are a lot of fights that are high risk fights. And in a lot of ways, this is a high risk fight because there's a lot of unknown factors. But there's also fights that are much lower risk. And if you're going to bet, it's probably a better idea to bet on the lower risk fights, where the factors of the fight are sort of known. Here, there's so many unknown factors. How Volk is going to come up through the weight class from 145 to 155. Is his size going to give problems? Since he's so stocky, it's really hard to get underneath someone's center of gravity and their center of mass to do some of these takedowns, and to hold down a shorter limbed individual can also be a more challenging task. So, we've literally never seen a fight quite like this, and I'm interested to see how things are going. Both fighters, though, look very confident that they are going to win. There's this certain thing. I think they've both only lost one fight in their entire careers, and that means they have over 20 victories, between 20 and 25 victories each, to only one loss. And when you have a record like that, you just sort of feel like you're unbeatable. Like there's just nothing that these guys can do to defeat you. So you just don't have a single ounce of quit in you, and both of these guys don't have a single ounce of quit in them. So I'm getting excited for this one, as the fight is going to start any second now. So here we go. Let's get it on, the ref says. They shake hands in the middle, and Volk starting off with a lot of feints. Islam coming in really calm, cool, and collected here. Volk looking like he's trying to find his range, show his superior reach. Islam faked for the single leg. Volk reacted a little bit to it. Great distance control here. Islam throws a kick. Volk easily defends. Volk throws a kick, misses Islam. Volk comes in with a blitz. Nothing too significant here. Both fighters sort of feeling each other out. Not too many things have elapsed so far. Islam comes in for a round kick. Oof. Volkanovski comes in with a hook. Oh, and a left hand stumbles Islam. Oh my goodness. Islam's wobbled here. That is a good look for Volkanovski. I've never seen Islam look like that before. Really sort of got got shook. Got shook moving backwards. Islam has a look of concern on his face here. Volk throwing some more powerful strikes. It would be nice, if Islam shoots, it looks like it's going to be sort of a desperation shot at this point, which is sort of exactly the situation that Volk wants to be in here. Volk really showing some skills in this fight in the first round. So far, Volk's got the first round in my eyes. And Islam throws the weakest kick I've ever seen in my life. Oh, both big exchanges. Volk takes a knee. Islam finishes the exchange with a head kick. Islam comes in, throws Volk against the fence. Volk has a look on his face like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this wrestling stuff? But man, Islam in the back body lock here. Islam throwing some knees against Volk's knees. Volk doing an interesting kind of doing an interesting thing to break this grip, really getting down in a sumo stance here. And Islam with the takedown. Trying to get that cross body control. Oof, Islam has full back control now with 1 minute left. Cross body control is when you control one hip and one shoulder, which is a key control. Islam going for a rear naked choke here. Volk is hand fighting properly here. Volk looking really calm in this rear naked choke defense, maybe a little bit too calm. He's got to be careful. I wonder what's going through their heads at this moment. I mean, it's almost like Volk doesn't mind to be put in a mandible strangle where his chin's down, but the guy's still looking to strangle him. And I guess that the gloves are a major factor. Volk says, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm fine," and eggs on the crowd. Man, hard first round because another really difficult one to score because Volk probably got the better part of the exchanges for the first, I don't know, 3 minutes of that round, and then Makachev was all over him in the last sort of minute. They're showing that straight left, which was really something serious. I think Islam just can't be afraid of putting his body on Volk's body, just closing the distance no matter what. Even if he takes a shot on the way in, because it looks like if he stands out in range, uh, I don't know. Second round just beginning here. 4 minutes 25 seconds here left in the second round. Both guys throwing some hard, heavy shots. But a lot of this has been a distance game so far, where both guys have been out of the possible range of distance. Islam throws a nice kick to the body, and man, just the way Volk moves, he's just like a friggin' tractor. Oof, a couple big shots from Volkanovski, and now Islam down on the takedown, looking to control the hips here of Volk. Volk looking to get back up to his feet, and Islam looking to take the back here. The thing is here, um, there's just a standard rule in fighting, and that is the person whose head and hips is higher than the opponent's head or hips is going to win the takedown scrambles. And not only that, it is going to be winning the fight. And in this case, the takedown scrambles. I mean, Islam does really good technique in getting Volk to the ground, and now they've broken up and they're back on the feet in a kickboxing range. But when Volk goes to get up, if Islam maintains this hip and head height position, um, then he's always going to end up with a back body lock, because as the person turns to try to get back up to their feet, they're just doing so underneath you, and you're always able to get to that back body lock. So that's what we're seeing here, and has been a theme in this fight so far that I wonder how the fighters will adapt to. Where Volkanovski not only has to focus on getting back up, but doing so in a way that doesn't just allow Islam to keep his head and hips higher than his, and consequently get this back body lock over and over again. We got 1 minute 39 seconds here left in the second round. Having some technical difficulties, of course. right in the middle of the fight. Okay, 1 minute left here. Can't help you with what happened in the last 2 minutes. But one thing looks apparent. It looks like both of these guys are just used to fighters just melting and wilting under the advanced technical pressure that they bring, and that both of the fighters are just not wilting in any way, shape, or form, and how they will just continue to keep coming regardless. All right, that concludes the second round. I would not be surprised if this makes it into a 5 round fight here. Let me know what you guys think of the fight so far. Please throw something in the chat. Would love to talk and converse with you guys. And I wish you all the best. We're showing some replays here. All right, third round. Volkanovski comes out in the orthodox stance, and Islam's fighting southpaw. You know, a lot of times wrestlers are trained to have their right leg in front, or grapplers are trained to have their right leg in front, as that's their dominant leg. And a lot of times that's better for the grappler to do many of their attacks, and the striker will have their left leg and their left hand in front, which will be more indicative to an orthodox standard way of fighting, where your left hand is your jab and your right hand, your dominant side, is your power shot in the back. So it's interesting here that we're seeing this stance of almost striker versus grappler in a lot of ways, but just in this context of MMA. 3 minutes 52 seconds left here, and a lot of this fight has been in a far distance, which is interesting to see. Both guys really a master at distance control. I think it is turning out that Volkanovski is the better kickboxer here. A lot of people are saying Islam's striking skills shouldn't be underrated, and that he could strike with anyone in the world. His striking is that good and of that caliber. Really hard leg kick there from Volk. Really good work on that leg. And it's proving that Volkanovski is probably the superior kickboxer, while Islam is obviously the superior wrestler. And it looks like they're talking to each other now. And man, Vulcan on a takedown here. I mean, Islam in on a takedown here. Just such high level chain wrestling that he's doing on Volkanovski. and continuing to try to take him down. Interesting too to see the way Volkanovski's dealing with this back body lock, where he's able to get his elbow in inside the grip, which is a great tactic. Able to sort of be successful here. Is on a great variation of how he controls the legs here, with 2 minutes remaining in this third round. Volk has Islam up against the fence now, and Volk punishing Islam against the fence goes for a leg trip. A couple really powerful shots from Volk there. This is a tough fight. This is a tough fight for both guys. Both guys are so good. Both guys. This is looks like a fight where both guys really just have no idea how to lose. They only know winning. One minute left here in the third round. Oof, nice hook to counter hook there from Volk to Islam. Islam got the last shot in the exchange. Oh, and a nice jab from Islam. If Islam could take a deep breath and relax and start to implement some of his striking, man, it's going to be a tough night at the office for Volkanovski. And Volkanovski takes Islam down for a second here. Does a crazy technique where he does a 1-2 and then he throws him. Volk going in for another takedown against Islam, which is crazy to see here. You got to be a little bit crazy to take down Islam, and I like that. I like that level of craziness. You know, I give that third round to Volkanovski. I give the first two to Islam, and I give the third one to Volkanovski. Granted, I didn't get to see a lot of the second round, though. But Volkanovski showing some good offense, even in the wrestling department there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Man, the body kicks have been on tonight, and that stance where the stance is open, one is southpaw and one is orthodox, just really allows for that body kick to be there all day long. All right, round 4. Here we go. You know, it was clear that the last one probably wasn't going to be a 5-round fight, and it's looking pretty clear that this one is going to be a 5-round fight. I mean, both of these guys just will not give up under any circumstance. Oh, and a nice 1-2 there from Islam. You know, it's interesting. The distance control of this fight is so fascinating because um you know, I guess Volk has the longer reach, but being the shorter guy in a lot of ways, he's got to get in on Islam to be able to throw the strikes. Yet he has a longer reach, yet Islam needs to come through um and get get to the legs for a takedown. So he needs to close the distance all the way. So it's just been an interesting match in distance management for both fighters, really. And both guys are such experts. Oh, just as I say that, Islam shoots in for a perfect looking double leg in open space here. Oh, man, beautiful stuff. And Volk looking to go back to the side of the octagon here. Islam with a body triangle on Volk. Wow. Just a real impressive display of skill there from Islam. It looks like they're doing some actual hand fighting here. Some proper hand fighting. Which is rare in MMA. Usually you don't see hand fighting that's that good. But both of these guys are of the extremely elite tier. This is going to be a tough position, too, for Volk to get out of. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this round. Body triangle just looks super tight. And Volk just throwing strikes to Islam's head and just doesn't seem to have a care in the friggin' world. Volk trying really hard to get his back to the floor. The ref saying something to them. The ref should not stand this up or intervene. If he does, that would be insane. Volk needs to go over his body triangle defense with Craig. He keeps on trying to get his back to the floor, but he's sort of trapping himself where he's hand fighting with this bottom arm. And I mean, it's not what he's doing is not indicative of an escape, really. Like the things that Volkanovski is trying here is just not working. He just doesn't seem to have an answer. And they're talking to each other now. Volk looks pissed off. Volk looks madder than I've ever seen him in my whole life. Just throwing strikes to Islam, screaming here.
Even if there's fight, even if there's fight, we're going to see it again. This is definitely going to happen. This is definitely going to happen again. Look at this! Look at this!
Man. Volk just screaming at Islam. I wonder what he was saying. If you guys know what he was saying, let me know. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'll go back, I'll lip read, I'll do whatever I got to do. But Volk just yelling while Islam has his back. And Islam looks like he's defeated in his corner. And Volkanovski looks fine, which is odd because Islam did a picture-perfect, beautiful double leg and should be ahead on the scorecards by a large margin. Even though when you're fighting in the other guy's hometown, you never really know. And Volkanovski is looking like he's about to win this fight, where he just literally spent all of the last round getting backpacked, with his only escape being to yell at the guy. I mean, this is a crazy fight here. This is a crazy fight. But as I said, round 5, here we go. Looks like both of these guys got a whole different level of respect for each other. But both of these guys don't know how to lose. So they just always feel that they're winning. Oof. Islam straight down the middle with a nice left hand in this case from Islam's southpaw stance. Oof, and Volkanovski with a strong kick to Islam's leg. Both these guys seem to be pretty close in skill level. 4 minutes left here in the fight. Last round. And they're just duking it out in the center of the octagon. Which, that's one way to do it. Oh, and man, I don't even know how to commentate what I just saw. Volk came in for a couple really strong hook punches and just got himself body lock takedown with a body lock takedown, but he sort of scrambled back up to his feet. Now they're back up to their feet and back to a neutral position here. Crazy. Something looks not quite right with Islam to me. I mean, Volk seems to be gaining and gaining and gaining. Oh, and man, Islam timed a beautiful takedown here. And really interesting to see the angle that Islam took here. Islam in the bottom turtle position, but on a single leg, much more so in a comfortable situation than he looked like when he was standing. And Volkanovski steps out of the single. 2 minutes left in the fifth round here. And Islam really looks like he's fading. Islam really needs to turn this into a takedown scramble where Islam really does not look like himself. We'll see if Volk can capitalize here. I don't know what happened where Islam is just seems to be kind of struggling or dragging along here. And Volk takes Islam down? Is this what I'm seeing? Islam recovers? 1 minute 24 seconds. I mean, it would be incredible if Volk can come back and win here. I'm definitely giving him this round. Because oh my gosh. Volk hits Islam and Islam ends up in the guard on the bottom here. 1 minute left. Jeez Louise. Volk trying some ground and pound from the top of the close guard here. Islam playing close guard. Who would have ever thought? 38 seconds left here in this fifth round. It looks like Islam could just sort of hold on. I mean, in a way, if I was Volk, I'd want to get back up and start striking again. 10 seconds left in this fight. Volk just throwing punches at Islam's head here. 3, 2, 1, and time. Whew. What a fight. What a fight. I mean, for me, not having seen all of the second round, I sort of give Islam 3 rounds, and I give Volkanovski 2, but close fight. Islam looks exhausted here. It should be interesting to see the scorecards. I mean, there was just a huge momentum shift. I don't know what the problem was with Islam in the last parts of this fight, where he was on the back of Volkanovski the whole time in the fourth round, and then Volkanovski just starts yelling at him, and then Islam comes in all sad for the next round. So I don't know what happened. Both of the guys give each other a hug. You know, I wouldn't be mad if it went either way on this one, but I mean, I guess I gotta give it to Islam, I think. But you know, they're in Perth, Australia, Volkanovski's hometown, with 60,000 Australian fans.
We go to the judges' scorecards for
Let's see what
decision.
the decision is.
The judges score the contest 48-47, 48-47, and 49-46 for the winner by unanimous.
Of course, my thing comes out, cuts out.
And still.
Okay, Islam Makhachev wins. I am right once again. And if you placed your money based on my bets, or whatever that statement means, you would have made money. So great fight between both of them. Man, a tough one, a very close one. And props to Volkanovski for going out there and making Islam look human. And man, a great fight. I wonder if it was Islam's lack of experience in the fourth and fifth round that had him so tired in those championship rounds. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Much love. Bye bye.